Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. There's Delvin. Welcome, you guys. Welcome to day 3. I cannot believe that we are already on day 3. And so we're going to really get to the exciting part because we are now in the actual construction part. We have learned so much about the concept, the direction, what we need to do, why we need to do what we need to do, most importantly, in terms of positioning ourselves, presenting ourselves, understanding, exactly what is the fundamental purpose for the grants, how they operate. We've learned so very much. And one of our members, too, unfortunately, I'm not sure if you guys know anyone who is in the Atlanta area. She lost everything in a fire, Shanice. So Shanice was not, she came in day one, and then Shanice was not able to join after that because she lost everything, her entire apartment and everything burned up. It was a large fire. It was all over the news and stuff in Atlanta. So if you guys know anybody in Atlanta who suffered from that as well, my condolences for their losses, of course, but my heart goes out to them as well. So we'll keep her in our thoughts. And her name is Shanice. So I'll actually make a little post too shortly for her. Okay. So good. It looks like so we're having more people. So some people who could not participate, of course, yesterday, who were probably busy. Hopefully, you guys did get to watch the replay from yesterday, and so you'll be all caught up. And you'll also have, of course, the day one replay is available. And I've been making put them in several different locations. I've been putting them right there on the welcome, the forum part, and of course putting them in the course materials as well. So if you guys cannot find any of the replays, you can find them in both locations, right on the forum board where I announce it, and then of course in the course materials. Okay. So let me grab my phone right quick and put it on mute just so it does not ring. Put my phone on silent. Almost forgot about that. Okay, and so now we will begin our presentation. So, welcome to day 3 of the 5-day grant challenge. Today is draft day, right? Today is going to be draft day. So, today, we're going to focus on, of course, the researching and the drafting of the grant proposals based on the selections from yesterday. So we're going to get ready to dive in. But today is also going to be a participation day. So those of you who are able to audibly speak and participate today, I'm going to be looking for you. So if you are able to, I'm going to be calling on you. Um, for what we did yesterday. So today, I also want to take a moment and acknowledge some other outstanding participants. That is Tracy Garrett Numa. And I am acknowledging Tracy for being up all night, seeking help to complete her task. Tracy and I were up, I think it was around 3 this morning or something. I was there, she was there in the chat. So I wanted to acknowledge that. I know you guys are probably like, wait, I thought this was just about who completed the task and who completed the homework. No, we're acknowledging all efforts, right, towards this. So also Jonas Brinkley. Jonas was up at the same time with Tracy, and Jonas has a very unique, I don't want to tell his business or anything, but he has a very unique situation that makes me ultra proud that Jonas is here participating with us. I'll leave that to Jonas to decide if he wants to share that or not. Also, Yvonne, I think I said it right the first time, but hopefully I said it right this time too. Yvonne Brenton, for asking for help and engaging here on the lives, right? She's constantly always asking questions and making sure, and they're always great questions that also benefit the group too. And Sonia Pullard, that is for the little engine that will. For Sonia to say, listen, I don't know, I'm kind of behind, I'm a little confused, but the fact that she is not letting any of that get in the way of her getting help, of her participating, and not being embarrassed to say, I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. Somebody help me. We need that, because you'll be so shocked at how many people will sit in silence and be confused and walk away confused, even after participating and even paying to participate in something, because we're often embarrassed. And I understand that as an adult, what we would consider an adult learner. I was a high school dropout. I went to community college at 29 years old. And in the community college environment, there was all adults there. I mean, people were upwards to 65. And I remember being in those rooms and how many adults were actually so embarrassed to ask a question that they thought was a basic question or a stupid question or a dumb question, or, they just didn't want to let everyone know how inadequate they were. And so I found, when I saw that, I made it my job in class to ask those questions. So I would actually look around the room and I could kind of sense the confusion and the hesitancy. So I would raise my hand and I would ask a question, even though I knew the answer to it. I would ask so that the professor could further explain, and I would ask it. And so you're saying that's like, right? Or sometimes I would add my own like basic, simple understanding. Oh, so you're saying if I'm watching somebody on the news and I'm like, oh, please don't let them be black because we all gonna get blamed for it. That's the burden of representation. And he would be like, yeah, that's it. And then I would just see everybody like, thank you. And there was so many times after class that people would walk up to me and they would say, I'm so glad you asked that question because I did not know what that man was talking about. I was so confused. So thank you for answering or asking that question for me. So I just want to say, for all of us that are adults, as we are moving forward, a lot of this stuff is not innate to us. Starting a business, that's not something that we just that came, a manual came with, with us with that. AI, tech, all of these things, a lot of this stuff is new. So if you ever find yourself in a room with a question, please ask, because you don't know who else you may be helping in that room who has not yet found the courage. So I wanted to acknowledge those people. So can we give all of those participants? So this was not just about who was doing their work. These are the people like Tracy, who was up and was like, I had things to do. So she was up all night. Jonas was up all night trying to get those things done because he started a little late. So, and Yvonne and Sonia for asking. So let's give them all some love in the chat, you guys. And so, of course, that doesn't just come with a little congratulations. Yes, Sonia's getting $25 towards anything in my store. Yes, ma'am. Jonas and Yvonne are getting $50 to use towards anything in my store. And Tracy Garrett Numa is getting a free licensed resellable course that she can use, edit, sell, do whatever it is that she needs to do with that course. Everything is already in there, ready to be sold. She can literally start selling today. So those are you guys' rewards, and I'll be giving you your link at the end of this class. You'll get that in a chat, okay? Just like all the winners from yesterday, they already got their links already sent to them in the chat. So listen, show up. Don't, because you don't know what criteria I'm judging on. You don't know. I want to keep y'all on y'all toes. You don't know what it's going to be for. But everyone will be getting awarded every single day tomorrow and then on our final day. So today's agenda. So today I am looking for you guys to share your research. So yesterday you got 5 grants recommended to you from our RAM Grant GPT. And you were giving tasks to explore into those grants regarding the homework assignment, right? So I definitely want to know what you gathered and what you came up with. Now, participating today could be the criteria for the reward. We don't even know. I mean, because I'm trusting that you guys are all adults. You guys all signed up for this, and that you guys are doing what you have to do as needed. So this is not one of those things where I'm like checking, did you do it? Did you not? We all grown here, okay? But hopefully you guys are able to stay on pace and you were able to do it. So I am definitely looking for someone to share who was able to do some of the research for their grants, right? So we'll be deep diving into that. And today we'll be starting our drafting. Today is going to be the day that we're drafting our proposals. And then, of course, we're going to hear from our resident expert. So, day 3 discussions reflecting the day 2 homework. So, what I'm looking for is I want to know, what did you discover about the eligibility criteria for your grants? Was there any, specific requirements that stood out, or any potential challenges? I want someone else to let me know, how did the missions and the goals of the grantors align with your project? What synergies did you find that you could highlight in your application to show a strong connection? Remember, we wanted to make sure that we were in alignment with what they're trying to do as well. This showed a strong connection between your project and the grantor's objectives. And then I also want to know, based on your research, what aspects of your project do you think will most appeal to the grantors? So how can you emphasize these aspects in your application to increase your chances of success? So who would like to go first? And you can answer question 1, 2, or 3. If you're able to be audible and you would like to answer one of these questions, just put a 1, 2, or a 3 in the chat, and then I'll know exactly which question it is that you would like to answer. So Vanessa, you had problems finding grants that were applicable based in New York. But Vanessa, you don't have to base your grant in New York. Your grant doesn't have to be just based in New York. There's people who give you grants and they're all over. I mean, it's great if you can find a local grant, but yeah, you don't want to limit your search just to New York. So for example, if I'm looking for a grant from Essence magazine, that's not going to be just a New York grant, right? If I'm looking for, so those are going to be national grants. So you don't want to just, focus on just that area. So did you want to
not just focus on New York though. I just read, I just asked for the grants, but and I looked at grants that were different grants, but then when I did the deep dive, I found out that some of them were for certain areas or, certain cities like that. So that's the kind of problems I ran into.
Okay, but now did you find some grants? Because there's 5 of them you're trying to find.
Yeah, I only found one that kind of met my criteria where the deadline had not passed. And I asked Chat GPT 3 times, 3 different ways to give me grants where the deadlines had not passed, or give me grants that where the deadline was the 3rd quarter or the year 2025. Give me grants that have not already expired. And the pickings just got slimmer and slimmer. So I'm thinking that maybe I have to refine my impact. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking that because, one, there are literally hundreds and thousands of grants available, right? I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of grants available. So if you're to the point where you can only find one grant, that feels really odd to me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, just like a scholarship, if there's scholarships that are based on such a wide criteria, like I have to look and see what you've created for your grant profile.
Right.
You know what I mean? To see what the issue would be, because some grants are very blanket, like in terms of wide in scope. They're not very narrow, So I would just kind of work with you because that's very unusual. If anyone else right now, if you had a hard time finding 5 grants for yourself that were decent, put a 5. If you could not find 5, put a 5 in the chat. If you had no problem, put a 0 in the chat. If you were able to find what you needed. So if you could not find it, if you were in Vanessa's situation, put a 5. If you were not, and you were like, I was able to find and do a pretty good job. Vanessa, you type in a 5. We know that. if you're not like Vanessa, put a 0. If your situation is like Vanessa's, put a 5. If it's not like Vanessa's, put a 0, just so that I can get a help. See, okay, so everyone else had no issues, Vanessa. So I'll work with you separately, okay? On your search, okay? So now, okay, so great. Okay, so it seems had a similar but not entirely as finding the ones, okay, that had not expired. Okay, So now, if who is able and wants to answer question one, two, or three, just put a one for question number one, a two for question number two, and a three for question number three. If these are one of the things that you would like to speak on. Stephanie, okay, Stephanie.
Okay, hello. So I did have something similar to hers in that, but I did find ones, but I had to go back and I had saw where you said that to go back and request it to be updated. And then I was more specific and I asked for ones that were rolling, like
Good. Okay.
so that it could find me ones that were rolling. And I did start to niche down. I know you said about having the ones that were broad, but some were so big and I decided like, well, let me also start to find ones that were specific in my area, like where I live at, just for the state, just so that I could have additional options. It wasn't like because I didn't get the other ones, it was just so that I could keep finding more options. And maybe because I thought the pool might be smaller and
Yeah,
that
and that's a good strategy. And so I'm not saying don't. I'm saying don't just say only New York. You know
no,
what I
I
mean? I'm
didn't.
saying
No.
yeah. I'm just saying like make sure it's open because if you're only looking in New York and then you're in a specific niche and you have a specific criteria and you see what I'm saying, then you might start to kind of like knock some things out for yourself. But
No.
you were able. You wanted to touch on question one.
Yeah, so I did. So what initially what I realized was that it kept coming back with ones for nonprofit. And I was like, okay, I'm not a nonprofit. So
Mm,
let me, and I didn't know if that was like part of what it was supposed to do. And I was like, am I supposed to be a nonprofit? So what I went back and put in and said, please give me ones that are for businesses and entrepreneurs and not just for nonprofit. And then it came back with another list. So that was the only change
okay. Okay.
initially, but it initially just did on its own. It came back with five nonprofits. And I was like, no, I'm not nonprofit. Grants for nonprofits.
What is your business
Actually,
or
it's a
your
financial
project?
it was I did one for financial education. So
Mm,
it was like because I'm a lot of things, but I'm a school principal too, but I'm also doing financial education, like credit repair, and I'm a realtor. So I'm basically my business was providing education for those people who wanted to know about financial education so they could get into a home or to improve their credit. But
okay,
on my
okay. But
website,
I would just the reason why I was asking is because there's some things that nonprofits are really kind of like known for, and I'm just wondering if what you do is so close to the fiber of what most nonprofits tend to take on, which is of course education, empowerment, you know what I mean, community. That's probably where chat was finding that
okay.
synergy, you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
yes, I
And
totally get
it
it.
tells me too that if you did have a nonprofit, it seems like you would be cooking with grease, you know what I
And
mean.
I do,
At
and I
that
do,
point.
I do. I have a nonprofit that I do. I was like, you know what? Let me start this, go back and renew it because there were so many different grants specific to that. And I was like,
Okay.
oh wow. So maybe I should just go ahead and also
Yeah,
have a
because maybe
nonprofit.
it's like it's only doing an association.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's all. It doesn't, it's just like this matches, this matches, this matches, this matches. You see what I'm saying? So if it keeps matching you up, it's probably saying something, right? About either the nature of what you do or maybe what you should be doing. So with that, what so we so question number one, right? What did you discover about the eligibility criteria for the grants you researched? Was there any specific requirements that stood out or any potential challenges that you identified? You don't have to name all of the grants, just like one that you specifically were
Okay,
looking
hold
at.
on. So, I think that one of the things was just pretty similar to what was taught yesterday, that that you're going to have to make sure that you somehow display their name or whatever when you publicize it. There was one that was specific. It was the NASE growth grant up to $4,000 for small business owners. And the requirements were I had to be a member of their
Mm,
organization, created a business plan, um, and basically make sure that I gave the use of the proceeds, an explanation how the grant funds will be used, and the grants, and what they had to be specifically used for. And it was sort of broad, marketing, advertising, and to maintain records. So it was basically everything that was shared yesterday about when you get a grant and what your responsibilities are after you've actually received them. But the requirements were that I did become a member in good standing for at least 3 months prior to applying.
Now, how much did you get a chance to look into the membership?
No, I didn't get to look and see how much the
Okay.
membership was,
I
but
would,
I know there was.
I'm interested in that too, because I mean, now even looking at that, are you guys starting to see that this is not just like I said, oh, poor you, let's give, that this is an exchange? Y'all starting to see that this is more like, right? They are definitely looking to get something out of it. And that's, even increasing their membership, what it seems, right, to that awareness of their program, you know what I mean, and things like that. Now, it's not to say that has a nefarious reason. They could have an outstanding program. They could have a program that they've realized that when people are in their program, they succeed better. You know what I mean? Like they're able to offer that mentorship, because a lot of times people have understood simply giving people the money is not always just the remedy. Sometimes it's the problem. You know what I mean? If you're not giving them the training, the resources, the support team, the accountability, you might be doing them more harm than good, especially if we're talking about having to pay it back or fail. So I can't speak to why they're required to be a member. I'm just, adding out a possibility, but that's a very interesting situation. And, we'll definitely pin that. Eduardo, hopefully he'll be able to speak to that if that's a common practice, if that's something that's a little bit more common than not. Right. But thank you, Stephanie. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank
I'm
you.
so proud of you guys. So proud of you. And you won yesterday.
Yes, I did. I didn't get the link though. I went to try to look because I'm definitely
Check
getting
the
some
chat.
tonight.
I sent it to you in your chat. It's a
Oh, okay,
direct.
I'll look for it.
Yeah. Check your direct message. So
Okay.
congratulations to you two again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so did anyone want to address number 2? How did the missions and the goals of the grantors align with your project? What synergies did you find that you can highlight in your application to show a strong connection between your project and the grantor's objectives? Or number 3, based on your research, what aspects of the project do you think will most appeal to the grantor, and how can you emphasize those aspects in your application to increase your chances of success? So if you would like to speak to number 2, put a 2, and if you'd like to speak to number 3, put a 3 in the chat. Oh, and Eduardo said yes. Okay, for sure. So yeah, we'll be interested in definitely hearing from Eduardo when that part comes around too. Okay, so no one else saw anything or was excited about, like, oh my God, they're right with me. We go together. We're friends. We're twins. No one felt that. Or I'm assuming everyone has not been able to just really deep dive into even that part. Oh, Eduardo said you got a good link. Okay, good. So Jonas says you found 5, but something came up and you weren't able. Okay, so Sonia didn't get that far either. So this is definitely one of the things. And the whole point of that exercise was to show you guys that it's not just simply getting the grant and then just going to do the application. That's not what you want to do. You really want to go and research that grant. As you saw with Stephanie, they may have some criteria there that you might not be okay with, or you might be okay with, So you really definitely want to look for that. Like she said, they definitely required that sponsorship, that branding element. They want to see that as well. So that's the whole point of you guys like doing this part of the homework assignment. Okay, just getting you used to that. So now we'll talk about drafting the proposals, right, and everything. So I'm going to share my screen to show you guys what that is going to look like for you. So hold on just a second and let me get over to this part. All righty, and let me see. Let me get 2 chat screens open. Oh, I had 2 of them open already. Okay. just so that you guys can see. And let me come back over here. Okay, and let me share my entire screen. Okay, so now if you notice, if you come to RAM Grant GPT today, you'll see a button that says day 3. And when you click day 3, right, it's going to get started. And so it'll say, okay, let's jump into the research for the grant. So now it's going to start with the proposal for draft day. So with me, with mine, it says draft day. And so it says, you know, hey friend, I'm activated. So it says, welcome to day 3. And what it did was it says, what I need is I'm going to create the 5 draft letters for the identified grants, review the drafts and request revisions if needed, and then prepare for submission, right? So that's what it's getting ready to do, is getting us all prepared. So key components for each grant. And it's going to help us with the executive summary, the project description, the funding needs, the impact statement, the organization background, key personnel, and conclusion. So I started with one as a demo. And so the one that I listed here was the SoGal Foundation, the Black Founder Startup Grant. And so it gave the application. And then here is the executive summary that it provided for me. The Black Virtual Mall is an innovative online marketplace dedicated to supporting and promoting Black-owned businesses. We aim to enhance visibility and sales through an expansive digital platform. We are requesting $10,000 in support and to support our marketing efforts, platform enhancements, and tenant support programs. So then you see here, it also gave the project description. Our goal is to create a thriving online ecosystem that fosters economic growth and community empowerment for Black-owned businesses. We plan to achieve this by increasing tenant occupancy, improving the user experience, and implementing advanced marketing strategies. These efforts will drive traffic to our platform and support the business within our mall. So then it has the funding needs, the impact statement, the organization background, of course, and the key personnel and the conclusion. And then I did a second one, which was for the NAACP. So of course, this is just the draft. This is not the completion. This is just for us to see, like, you know, okay, this is definitely the direction I want to go into. And then of course, as you know, we will expand on to anything that we need to expand on, which it does. So if I wanted to have it actually expand that out, which tomorrow is when we're going to really do the real revisions, you can play with it here, but tomorrow that's the activity, is to really do the real revisions and everything, especially granted and taken into consideration, because those revisions, I don't want you guys to just solely rely on ChatGPT. I want you to be inserting yourself into these as well, where you need to as well. Just like when you guys saw, when you saw Eduardo's grants, he was able to speak personally to, okay, this was my personal challenge that I had in life with my stepfather's business, and this is what I did. So I want you to make sure that you are injecting yourself, your personal experience into those letters as well. But this is giving you a lot of meat on the bone, okay? So, oh, let me bring back my window for my presentation. Come back up, window. There you go. Okay. So now we will hear from Eduardo to give us some insights on that letter. So Eduardo, also, you did miss some of the conversation where Vanessa was struggling to find some grants herself. But I think Vanessa was having a really unique, more unique problem, because she said she was only able to find one. So, you know, with all of the grants that are out there, then it's probably something that we need to really look into what her project is, to see why she's struggling with that. But you also saw heard Stephanie mention the requirements, you know, for the grant in terms of joining a membership and things of that nature. So that, and plus whatever insight that you have. So I'll turn the screen sharing over to you if you need it. What's done there.
Thank you so much. Greetings, everybody. Sorry, a couple of events going on for the business, so I apologize for arriving late. I'm just going to switch over to the Zoom on the computer. I did want to share with you, 1 second here, I'm just going to. Perfect, y'all can hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you. I didn't know you could just switch it over like that. Woo, look at that.
Yeah, if you got your the Zoom Pro, you can just switch back and forth from your phone to your laptop.
Oh, okay, I gotta try that.
Yeah, literally, your other device, when you open it, it'll say, do you want to switch? Okay, so one thing I wanted to tell y'all is I got, like, ChatGPT sometimes might feel generic, but it really can only respond to what you feed it. So I fed it my arts education business, but I also fed it my hearing clinic. And as I was delving into what grant options were available, I was very specific to say my hearing clinic. And I kind of reworked it a little bit. So one link I got was not actually a grant, but it was the Government of Canada's website. And I had to then do some additional legwork because ChatGPT could only get me to the first page. I then had to go and answer all the other questions on it. And as I did that, I found out a lot of options that were available for the business. So like I said, I'm going to be doing this with you all as well. And it's very helpful. This grant GPT is very helpful because it's saving me a lot of time of having to explain and train ChatGPT as to who I am. But like I told you all on day one, when I got lazy and I started just letting ChatGPT do all the work, I started getting declined left, right, and center. And you know, and even I'm embarrassed, but like when I went back and looked, there was some stuff that I didn't even proofread at all. And so if you really let ChatGPT do his thing and you're not holding tight on the reins, you're going to be talking a whole lot of mess on these grants and then getting declined left, right, and center like I did. I'm curious about the sponsorship piece. Sometimes I get kind of hesitant if I'm applying for funding. I don't want to have to be putting out funding in the first place. So I'd be curious for whoever got that, if I could, I don't know if you could tell us a bit more. You're muted.
It was Stephanie Cooper. She didn't get a chance to go check and see if there was requirements, pay or fee to join the membership. But it did have a minimum of 3 months of being a member to get that scholarship, which, you know, on the nose, it's not unusual for some groups or businesses or whatever it is to limit scholarships to their active members. But, you know, to me, I mean, and I guess it's not bad if they publicly share that, but, you know, it does give you kind of like mixed signals right now. If there's no fee to join, then it's kind of like, okay. But yeah, you can go ahead on. I'm sorry, just wanted to give you that. And Stephanie, if you wanted to come on, I don't think she had much more to add because she didn't check it out.
No, I didn't check it out, but I'll look while we're talking.
So there's two things to keep in mind. We're doing a 5-day grant challenge, so we want to have these things, you know, written out and ready to roll within the 5 days. But and outside of this 5-day grant challenge, this is the importance of going to set up your profiles early, of going to look at these grants. So the one you're looking at, Stephanie, it's something that you could start to plan out 3 months from now. I know for me, sometimes I'll be very transparent with y'all. I need that money yesterday. So I don't care. I need to go and I need to get the money. And we really do need to plan ahead as well, right? So even if you're in a crunch and you need to get this grant money and that and whatnot, still plan ahead, because guess what? 3 months from now, you might be looking at that same grant saying, dang, I didn't put in my membership or I didn't set up my profile. And I've been supporting a lot of artists up here. And I met with them about 3 months ago and I walked them through the profile setup. And then 3 months later, they're complaining, they want to get started. And I'm like, do you have your profile set up? And they said, no. So I can't do nothing, because unless you get your profile ready to go and then you wait for that approval, which takes 2 to 3 weeks, which is not unreasonable. It would. A Conundrum's asking Vanessa if you can share your screen so we could look at the profile or the grant profile info if you're interested.
No, I was just trying to see if because I wanted to look and see what her profile is like, how she set her grant profile up on Grant GPT.
Oh, so yes.
If she, I'm not sure if she wants to, but if she was able to share her screen, just so that we can all kind of look at it, to maybe put some eyes on it for her. Okay, if you can't, hold on, great. So I'll prompt you when it's time for you to do that. Okay.
Okay, so I'll just share with y'all what I found from GPT. To give kind of hope, sometimes GPT can be like deflating when you're like, this didn't get me nothing I wanted, this sucks. But really, it's like you got to do your part of it. So this is what I got from ChatGPT. It gave me to the Canada.ca website, which is like, oh, whoop-de-woo, anybody could have done that. But it actually found the page within the Canada.ca website where I could edit my story filters. So this is what I chose. These are my business needs: grant funding, loans and capital investments, tax credits. I went beyond the grant piece. I put up to 250,000. I don't feel comfortable applying for more than that yet. I know I can manage it, but I need to establish a relationship with them. So then I put my goals. I put, the region that I'm in. I skipped some of these other questions, but off of that, out of 1,612 programs, it actually narrowed it down to 233. And from that, there is the grant funding here. So there's financial support for technology innovation, funding challenges for innovations that save and improve lives. So I feel like I could fit this one. The screen froze on me, so I'll wait to see what happens here. Let me see if I can refresh it. But I'm doing this kind of live with you all just to show you, ChatGPT will find me some, but then I got to do my legwork. Grant and assistance for Ontario small businesses. Here's a grant. So, okay, it's a maximum of 5,000. I'll still take it. Here's the kind of the qualifications, one-on-one guidance, and then it sends me to the website. So I'm going to go for a bigger one because I've already received a $5,000 grant and I've already received a $10,000 grant. And most importantly, I've submitted my reports on those grants because all this is interconnected. So if I got reports outstanding, I can't come back and ask for more money. So I'm going to take my time and go through these other options and see what I can find to click for myself. But I would share with you folks, if you weren't satisfied with the outcome you got, work with ChatGPT, keep pushing it. So I'm just seeing Sonia's comment. Eduardo has mentioned more than once a 2 to 3 week delay to have your grant profile approved. So that is specific to the Canada Council for the Arts. In Ontario Art Council, Toronto Art Council, you pretty much get approved right away. You just got to have a resume that matches what you're saying. But you got to look at whatever grants you're looking at, and you got to go look, do I got to set up a profile? How long is it going to take to get the profile approved? Is it automatic or not? So you want to flush that out in advance. But for the purpose of our 5-day grant challenge, I'm confident each of us here can find something that we could just start to put together and apply for. Even if you don't have the profile ready, you still have the guidelines and you can still put all that together. So yeah, I hope that helps. Again, I personally would be hesitant to have to put my own money in to apply for grants. There are hustles and scams out there. I would be comfortable putting to a certain amount, but if it becomes something where I'm in a deeper hole than I was before I started, I'll probably go find something else.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that about the scams, because even right now, side note, that people are looking for jobs, there's a lot of employment scams. So there's a lot of companies that will tell you that they'll find you a job, or you go and you'll find a listing, and then they're like, okay, yeah, you can get the job. We'll forward your application to you because it's closed or whatever. And they're literally just scamming people. They're just taking their money. They're taking your admission money or your fees, and you're not getting any response back. You're not getting any results back. So, where there's a will, there's a scam. You know what I mean? Where there's a need, there's a scam. Like, someone will come up with a way to, and it won't seem like much, but if you think about it, seems like it's a good thing and it's an easy thing. If they're just getting like $100 or $50 a person for nothing, they can come up on that too. So, so Vanessa, let's do this then. Vanessa, you can come on, and if possible, you can share your screen so we can just kind of look at your profile. We want to look at your RIM Grant GPT screen. That's the screen we want to look at. Wait, are you ready? Are you ready to do that, Vanessa? I didn't even know. I just told you.
She has it open. She's good to go.
Oh, she has it open. Okay, so let's share. You can share your screen. Oh, no, you can't.
She has to be co-host.
Oh, I did give her. I think she is co-host. I'm almost certain she is. Yeah, she's co-host, so she can share. Okay, fantastic. So, okay, so here's your company name. And yep, and I'm familiar with your company. So, Prince Pastels. Okay, so let's scroll up a little bit more. So it gave us an idea of what your company was, and then your bank codes. Okay, and your project description. Let's look at your project description. I would like to expand my business, including providing a showcase of other artists in the community. Okay, so let's see what it expanded out for you. So it says introduce a wider variety of customized stationery and decor items, foster a collaborative environment where other local artists can display their work, attract new customers interested in unique community inspired products. Okay, artist collaboration, partnering with other artists, market campaigns. So these are some things that you have to do to achieve that goal. And event hosting. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit more. Funding needs. You'll need approximately 7,000. Okay. So it says for the rent, 3,000, promotions around 2, and 2 for the artist. Okay, come on down. Impact statement. The project would increase my visibility in the community, increase the visibility of other artists, and provide a setting where we would be able to sell our works. So this project will enhance the visibility. Okay, support measurable outcome, increase sales. Okay, scroll down a little bit more for me. So right now, Eduardo, just going off of the input there, how do you feel about what she's proposing?
Yeah, I'm liking it. And what it's doing is not just funding for businesses, but yeah, like grants for arts projects. So it opens you up to multiple other opportunities that you can apply for as an artist or, as a cultural connector, however. And I'm seeing this first one that looks appealing. I mean, it's 10,000.
Okay, so, yeah, so let's scroll up and look at a couple of the grants that it offered to you. And I see the first one is July. So I see the first one is closed. So that one we know that one is closed. Creative Baltimore funding is said to be announced. So that one you weren't able to see. NEA Big Read, it said January 10th. That one was closed. Definitely intent to apply. They said it's open. And some of these things, even if they're closed, they're still accepting applications for the next go round.
Right.
So that's another thing.
When I went to our town, it took me to something in Idaho.
Click on it. Let's see what.
I couldn't click on it. I had to go in and put the URL into the browser. The hyperlink did not work.
So let's come down. Now, did you tell chat in there? And so before this, prior to this, there's nothing about New York.
No, I didn't have anything about New York. It was just very broad. And when I started getting other states, yeah.
No, I get that. What I'm doing is I'm just going through the logical flow of what chat has on you. You get what I'm saying? Right now, what chat had on you, he doesn't know where you are. So originally, but again, just because some grants, of course, will be local, but some things, regardless of where their home base of business is, that doesn't mean you won't receive the grant just because you're in another state. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's the case here, but you understand what I'm saying? So I could be here in New York. My business is based in New York. Right now, if I decided to give away a national grant, you get what I'm saying, to anyone, it won't just be for that. But go ahead. So then you went into New York and it says spring 2024. Okay, so Capital Funds Project. And then that one was January 11th. Okay, and then summer. Okay, so Queen's Arts Fund, that's one that seems like it'll work for you.
I looked into that and it had already closed because even though it said 2024, it closed at the end of 2023.
Wow.
But if you look at it on the deadline, it says the next cycle opens in summer. So it could be that they're about to relaunch.
Because I thought it would give me the information. It didn't give me any information for the upcoming cycle.
So maybe they haven't opened it yet, or maybe they're not opening it. I don't know, but they were probably planning to open it.
because I could definitely do something in Queens. It didn't say you had to live in Queens. You just had to do it in Queens.
Okay. And then there was the Waves art form.
That passed.
And then Southton and Circus Culture.
That passed.
Uh-huh. So then you said,
And I
please
kept
provide
going.
3 options.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So then I got this one, which is the one here in New York. But this one, this was the only one that I seemed to be able to fit into, but you have to have a nonprofit sponsor. I don't think I would have a problem. I do know some nonprofit organizations, so I could probably partner up with one of them to do that. But this was the only one that seemed to work. But I'll keep going. I'll show you the rest of the list.
Okay.
So it's this one which passed already. This one, the creative
2025 Creative Capital anticipated. So that one's coming.
It hasn't
out.
been released yet. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Creatives Rebuild New York.
And this one, I'm trying to remember.
It says it's open periodically. Check for updates.
Yeah, no, but this one, they didn't have, the last dates they had was 2022 and 23. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're going to refund.
Well, I know one thing that you have done is you've definitely streamed yourself down to New York. You know what I mean? So that could be a good or a bad thing. You know what I mean? In terms of now you're limiting yourself. You'll probably find something that's local, but then also, you know. So let's see here. Andy Warhol, the CRC.
That already passed.
What was your prop up above there?
The
you said
CIRC grant, but that passed.
No. What did you type above this?
I said, what are grant opportunities for artists that are not based on nonprofit organizations with deadlines? That's when I asked for the third quarter and beyond, because I was getting things that were already, the deadlines were closed.
Okay. Keep scrolling. Nordic Water.
Give me that.
So I saw some, those Julys just passed.
Now for this section, I did get some other dates in the third quarter finally, but that one's for jazz, and this one, the individual arts. This is the one, when I went to look into it, I found out it was only certain southern states that you were able, that it, was able to apply. So that kind of left me out of that. And
yes, URL says South.
This one is Texas. That's the same one as the one above. This one already passed. This one passed. This one passed. And that was it. And I just said, okay, I don't know.
Okay. Eduardo, what would you
Yeah, no, thank you. So listen, I've been on ChatGPT for hours. I've had to argue with it 10, 15 conversations to do a proper character count. Sometimes it just goes haywire on you. And so what I've learned is that you got to be super specific on the prompts. Like, you see how you kept tweaking your prompts, Vanessa?
Yes.
What might be worth it is going back up to the top, especially if you're not liking any of these, and just editing the prompt you gave it in the first place, now that you realize how much more hyper specific you have to be.
Okay, let me see. The first one I gave it was I just put grant research.
No, because it just started to do the grant research.
Yeah,
so
that's all I did. I said grant research.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Type in grant research. Or grant search. Yeah, in the bottom, type in grant search. And the other night, and I don't know if it's GPT or what, but I actually had to refresh I had to start over because chat kept giving me the same. No, I didn't want you to press.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
but the other ones are still there.
No, I know they're there. Because what I noticed is sometimes you'll experience a little fatigue. Have you ever noticed that, Eduardo? Like the more that you're going and going, it's almost like it gets tired because chat has a character capacity. So that's how they're able to tell you, like, you've reached your character capacity. I've noticed that if you are going too much, then it kind of gets a little wonky. You know what I mean? It's almost like it gets tired after a while. Okay. So sometimes refreshing chat helps that. Now,
Yeah.
okay, wait a minute. So,
But I'm
and
back at the same point because now I'm getting some of the
no, I
same.
know because you
Yeah.
didn't do anything different. So
Oh, okay.
what I want you to do is refresh your screen.
Okay.
And actually, I want you to clear your temporary files out since 24 hours. You started this yesterday?
No, I actually started this today because
Okay, so just clear your
yeah.
browsing data. See
Hold
down
on,
there,
hold on.
delete browsing data.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so clear it out for 24 hours.
Okay.
No, you just did all time.
Oh, go back. Let me go back.
It's too
Can I go
late.
back?
It's too
Oh,
no.
It's
You
gone now.
you
Oh.
gotta wait, Vanessa. You just
Oh.
you gotta wait for you click stuff, please. It's okay. It's
Oh.
already done. It's
All right. I'm going to do that so that's why I don't have that problem next time. All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So now we exit chat completely. Exit the chat GPT completely.
Okay. Hold on. I can't get to it because this thing is in the way.
Move that thing out the way.
Okay, there we go. All right.
Okay, go back to GPT.
Okay.
No. You should have. It should have.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
you gotta.
I
You
gotta
gotta.
put the prompt back in because I gotta type it in. Oh Lord. Okay.
You just need to type in just chat GPT.
Yeah.
Let me see if that comes up.
Oh, because she deleted the history, so it might not come up.
No. Okay.
No. It's just okay. GPT.
There it is.
No, but
No,
that's
not it. That's not
okay.
it.
No, Miss Vanessa. We're gonna go ahead because this is gonna take a little bit of time. The concept for everybody who's watching was just clearing out the history so that you can start again. Because remember, chat is cumulative. So sometimes it's building in and it's remembering and it's remembering. So it's just kind of going back into what it's doing. Sometimes you just have to give it a new, like a reset, and then let it be able to give better results that way. So basically what I wanted her to do, or you, if you had those issues, would be to clean out your browser for the last 24 hours when you started the search, open up chat GPT brand new, where it would just be the, like you're just logging in new. You're going to see the RIM GPT on your side. That's fine. Go back into that and then modify your search to say grant search, but please do not include grants with deadlines prior to today, and then you would say July, right, 2024. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what you would have typed and then gotten new results. So Vanessa, we'll have to do that later, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Vanessa, what type of art is your field?
I do customized designs and stationery, apparel and accessories.
Okay, I'll see what I could do on my end, and then I'll send you a link privately.
Okay.
So if you do two different businesses moving forward, Tawana, it would just be two conversations. So when you open up chat, you would just have two different. So let me share my screen. Okay, so right here, if you look over here to the left-hand side, see that draft date presentation, that's the conversation I'm having. But if I hit RIM now and I do day one, I'm starting a brand new conversation. Look right there, see how it just created that? Mm-hmm. So I could save this one as the Black Virtual Mall, and I could save this one as the Drum Circle Podcast Show. RIM. So just label it so you'll remember what it is.
So that's what I did. But if you do like the day 3 is what I'm wondering. When you do the day 3, will it automatically pick up on both of those?
It could, it shouldn't, but it could. It could possibly roll over, but these should be two independent conversations.
Okay, yeah, that's what I did. I just named them both.
The reason why I say it could is because even in Chat GPT, where I've had like a conversation here and a conversation here, he sometimes threw something over and I was like, what? Like, why are you over there? It's not supposed to be, but you know, sometimes it could lean over.
A conundrum. Could I show real quick what you were trying to get done? Like did it on.
Sure.
Okay.
Let me stop
And
sharing.
that was for Tawana, right?
No, that was for Vanessa.
For Vanessa. Okay, so Vanessa, this is let me just share real quick. So I went back into ChatGPT and I put in, I'm an artist as well, so I put that in, but I did what a conundrum was saying: grant search for artist projects executed in NYC. Please only provide grants whose deadlines are after September 1st in visual arts and apparel and accessories. So I got the National Endowment for the Arts, which is what I was thinking when I was seeing it. Visual arts, 10,000 to 100,000. The deadline's still beforehand, but it's landing in the field that you were interested in. And then this one popped up. Anonymous was a woman environmental art grants, and that deadline's for September.
Mm-hmm.
And then create magazine issue 48, visibility to support a 2-page spread, promotion, not exactly grant funding, but then there's a New York Foundation for the Arts, which you found already, which was, it says expected summer, but it seems like that passed. But at least we were able to find you
something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Anonymous was a woman. I'll put it in the chat for you. Hopefully that's of some help. So it's all in the prompts and then just engineering it. Sometimes I just go back up here and edit the initial prompt to just get a new, fresh work. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And that, Stephanie's it?
No, that was Vanessa.
Vanessa, sorry. I asked several times. Okay, I'll send this to Vanessa.
Okay, and I hold on, I accidentally got rid of my whole entire screen. Okay, so let me get back to mine, and then we'll start from the presentation. Okay, so let me share this window. Okay, so now as you guys are picking those and you're going to start your draft, this was some of the reflection that I wanted you to use, and we're going to reincorporate bank into this reflection. So going with the action mindset. The action mindset is consider how your project enhances the grantor's reputation. Focus on creative, positive recognition and impactful optics. So it's really saying, like, when you're writing this out, it is something that when you understand them, you want to make sure that you're alluding and mentioning to how this benefits the company, how this helps them with their initiatives, right? So if they have a focus on, for Vanessa's case, if she were to come across someone and they said, you know, our goal is to really illuminate the artists, the local artists in New York, especially older women. You get what I'm saying? She could mention that, like, you know, as me being a woman of this age or whatever, and having similar women in my cohort, you know, this goes along and pairs well with you guys' initiative of such and such and such. So it's just like, how am I helping you to get to your goal? Or working with me or funding me is going to help you get to your goal. The blueprint personality type, the mindset. Demonstrate your trustworthiness and competence. Provide assurances of your ability to successfully complete your grant project. So these are things that you also want to make sure you're talking about. You don't want to just write a letter just saying, I need, right? These are things that you also need to communicate to them that, one, this is a good look for you. This is going to work with what you're trying to do. This is going to help you get to your goals. And I'm definitely going to do it. I can do it. Nurturing. You want to make sure that you're also highlighting the long-term benefits of your project and emphasize the lasting positive impact that it does have on the community. We saw Eduardo do a great job of that in his letter that he demonstrated yesterday, right? In terms of what it was going to do for that specific niche group, and that he was going to do it. And also the knowledge mindset. It showcases your team's expertise and your preparedness, and it illustrates that you've done the thorough research and you're ready to execute this project. And again, Eduardo did that when he brought on the additional partner and showcased that they've already executed and completed these grants as well. So those are things that you got to think when they're reading this and they're giving out their money, you're letting them know all these very important points. I'm going to make sure this one is going to be a good look for you, right? Because you're selling this. It's going to be a good look for you. I'm definitely trustworthy. I'm going to do it. I'm competent. I can do this. I'm going to have a large impact. I'm going to do what it is that I need to do for the community. And I have put people in place and around me, if possible, or I've done the necessary research, right? I've done the research to show you that I understand it and I know what needs to be done. So just having those mindsets in the back of your mind, right? So now if you guys have any questions, like I said, you're going to go there, you're going to go to draft day. So to get that part, leave your screen open. Remember, leave your screen open and you're just going to type in draft day. Refresh your screen because it's a new command that I gave it. So definitely please refresh, go back to your screen and type in draft day. Okay. If you have any problems, because I did, if you have any problems, all I did was I went and I copied every single prompt that I had already given. Remember, I did my fake profile and I started again from day one. And then I just pasted and it went. I pasted, it went, pasted, went, pasted, went. Then it was like, okay, day 2, pasted, went. And then it took me like 3 minutes to get to the day 3 activity. Okay, that would be the absolute worst case scenario. So what you should get is when you type in draft day, it should say, I am ready. It should say, hold on, let me go right in here for you. It should say, I am activated friend. So you're going to type in draft day and it should say, I am activated friend. Okay. If it doesn't say I am activated friend, try to refresh because it may not be there because that is I put in a new set of commands because remember we had a day 3 itinerary. So I had to change that itinerary and I just don't know how it's going to go in real time. So yes, you're going to put in draft day. So you're going to put in, hold on just a second. I know you ain't making fun of my accent, draft day. You know what I'm saying? Draft. She says she's saying draft date or draft day. So you're going to type draft day and it should say, I am activated and ready friend. And at that point is where you would be typing in the grants. Or if it does his own thing, as long as he says, what grants would you like to do? He should be doing your draft proposals. If you do not get those results, it's because on the back end, right? I don't know how the system uploads. So on the back end, it may not have populated yet. Okay, so it should say, I am activated, and ready. And then you're going to do one at a time, the grants, because I don't want to overload it. You're going to do one at a time your proposal. So you're going to type in the grant that you found that you want to work on, and then it's going to do the draft proposal. Okay. Any other questions? You can put a 1 in the chat if you have a question that you need to type out, and I'll wait for you. Okay. And if you can talk, put a 2 if you want to actually just go ahead on and ask your question. Okay, Tracy. Oh, go ahead, Tracy. Tracy, our winner. Come on, winner. Tracy was up, my late night buddy, up in the chat with me. What time was we up, Tracy? It was like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Come on, Tracy. But when we up, baby, we were up, huh?
Yeah. It was late. Yeah, we were up.
I was tweaking this back end stuff. That's what I was up doing late at night. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and I was shocked that you was answering me at that time. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm with family, so I hadn't been able to keep up. So I was just trying to work when I could. So I have a couple questions. I got the list of grants, and I did notice that they were all nonprofit. And just hearing you today, I hear, I need to just go back in and ask for some that are not nonprofit. So I will do that. But let's see questions I had. Sorry, I typed them in the chat, so let me find them. Okay. On the homework, it said that we needed to have a, oh gosh, okay, here we go. So I finished the replay, and it says that your grant profile needs to be completed to do this activity. I didn't see anything that said grant profile. I got the bank codes, I got my list of grants, I got mission, vision, I got all of that, but I didn't have a grant profile. Will it say grant profile?
That's your grant profile.
Oh, that is it. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's basically for chat. All of that information about you is the profile.
Okay,
So
good.
it was just saying you have to go through those day one steps of saying who's your company, you see what I'm saying, all of that, so that chat could start to generate. Right. That's all. So yeah,
Okay.
you did that with day one activities.
Okay, cool. So then the other one was I just wanted to ask you about my business real quick. I have an e-commerce business where I'm selling apparel, and I wasn't really wanting to sell apparel, but I came up with this slogan or this statement. It says, "Wealth has no color," and something just hit me to say, "Hey, I really need to get this out there for people to see," because some people think that it is only for certain people. So I put it on a T-shirt and had someone give me a design. I had it trademarked and started putting it on apparel and had this guy help me, with design and order T-shirts and stuff like that. And of course, I haven't, been able to market it. So what I'm asking for grants for is really financial literacy, because that is really what I'm selling, financial literacy. And I really would like to go to like, underprivileged kids and communities and teach financial literacy. And then also be able to, sell the T-shirts.
Okay, so that's going to be more Eduardo's lane.
Yes. Sorry, I was looking at my own grant that I want to apply for. Give me a synopsis again, Tracy. I heard about financial literacy. Is it business or nonprofit?
I'll tell you. So she has a shirt. That's where it started the conversation. She does have a shirt that says "Wealth has no color." She hasn't marketed it or anything like that, but that segued into the fact that she wants to teach financial literacy, and so that's what she's looking for the funding for. I'm assuming that funding would encompass the travel or whatever means, or funding whatever platform. I'm not sure exactly what vehicle she's using for the teaching. So I don't know if it's digital courses. I don't know if it's in-person workshops. I'm not sure what that is. But I'm also assuming that it's going to be for maybe the production of this merchandise, or the marketing of the merchandise as well. Yeah. That is like an accoutrement of the
accoutrement.
Yeah, like when you get one good word, I'm waiting accoutrement of right of the business. Okay, some of the there you go, right, and that there. Did I give you a fair summarization, Tracy?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, all right. Is there any other thing that you want to fill in for Eduardo?
So you mentioned marketing, hire an assistant to help out with it. The production of, I guess, the T-shirts or the apparel. Yeah, and to be able to, funds to start presenting this, going to the schools and presenting it, actually in person, and then online as well.
So there's definitely grants.
I have one question.
Yes.
What is your credentials?
Exactly, yeah.
What is my credentials? So I have a background in funding, funding for real estate properties, as well as credit repair and business funding, and helping with business consulting.
This is what whenever it comes to children and teaching, anytime that you're going to go around children, Anytime that you're going to go into areas that are food, medical, and finance or pharma, everybody listen to me. You got to go in with everything, because you're asking people to platform you in situations where people can be harmed by your information. So right now, Tracy, if you had a school full of impressionable kids and I told you, Tracy, let me have those kids, I'm going to teach them. I want you to think about everything you would need from me to make you feel secure, that you could put me in front of those kids. If you have that, proceed. If you don't, find another avenue. Because when it comes to things like children, food, medicine, money, these are very regulated industries. You get what I'm saying? These are very heavily regulated industries. So anytime corporate or government is going to pull you in, you gonna have your letters behind your name. It is not going to be enough to just say, I help with credit repair. No, are you certified? Are you a financial accountant? Are you a financial advisor? This is what you would need for those areas. If you don't have that, you need to pull in a financial advisor. That is the other option. I'm just telling you guys, just think about just for you. If I said, hey, I want to work with your kids, I want to babysit for you. What do you, well, I got a couple of nieces and nephews. You know what I'm saying? I love kids.
Right.
Right now, but the next one, I have a bachelor's in child development. I have a, you see what I'm saying? And I have a CPR, I'm certified. That's when you're gonna be like, yes, because anything that happens is going to fall on it's going to be the onus of the people that platformed you. So when you bring them into that school, you don't know who mama up there got a financial damn certification and the baby come home talking about Miss Tracy taught us this and this. Miss Tracy told you what? You know, that's how it happens. Who's up here? What is she? And you're doing what? So always think, I'm just trying to save you guys heartache and headache. You get what I'm saying? Because those industries are regulated. Okay.
Yeah, just wanted to add too. So Tracy, a couple of things is you're gonna need insurance if you're going into the schools. There in Canada, they call it a vulnerable sector screen. So you gotta be, pre-screened and cleared. So if your goal is to get into the schools through the funding, you're definitely gonna want to show them that you have these things in place. Another avenue could be a professional development grant of some sort that would allow you to shift into preparing to go into the schools. So not necessarily going into the school right away, but like, look, I got this knowledge, our communities need it, I feel really passionate. And you want to have demonstrated proof, as we've been saying, that you can do the workshops if you've done them before in schools. And if you haven't, then you're going to want to partner with someone that has done that can work with you to develop that aspect of it. And there are professional development grants. And if Tracy is in education now, right. So, you are in education already, Tracy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing some consulting, and I do have my niece is actually she is a teacher working with kids, and she's right now going in and doing presentations. And I volunteered to work with her on doing that to give myself that experience and working with kids.
Amazing. So that's one thing I was gonna.
But notice, a niece is certified. Niece is you get what I'm saying? Niece is certified, right? And you're coming in with niece. You doing it separate is different. You get what I'm saying? So if you're doing it separate, because I volunteered for years in my children's classrooms. With the I don't have credentials and everything else, but there's a background process, a screening. So they don't want anybody around the children. They want to make sure that I was cleared. I taught workshops in the elementary schools, so they had to make sure that I was cleared. And so you know what I'm saying. And I'm just teaching soap making and stuff like that. I ain't dealing with no high powered finances. But my point is, just as us as a parent, it's always best to go in with everything that you would need to make you feel comfortable with that adult teaching that topic around your kids or your loved ones. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, I appreciate it.
Sorry, Tracy. I just wanted to add as well, like in Toronto, Canada, where I'm at, the bigger school boards, they have a whole vendor partnership agreement process that you got to go through before you can even go in there and deliver workshops. So very important to also check with your local school board or whoever you want to work. Is there a vendor partnership agreement I need to have in place? And then if so, get cracking on that vendor partnership agreement so that when you come and ask for this funding to facilitate the workshops, you have your clearance, with the police check, you got the vendor partnership agreement with the school board. The volunteer experience is critical. And I always encourage people, like I ran my open mic for 6 years out of my pocket. I ran it at a loss. I made no money from it. But on the 7th year, guess what? I started landing grants all over the place because I have a proven track record of 6 years of doing this without asking nobody for money. So I become an appealing racehorse for these people, and I hate it, but that really is a reality.
And it's like, okay, so it wasn't in vain. You know what I mean? And I was about to say, one of the things that you could do as a workaround is you can teach some online workshops. You get what I'm saying? So just start with an online approach. And so now you develop a curriculum. You don't have to worry about all of those other technicals just yet, but you offer a course. You don't even have to offer it as being paid. You could just do it for free so that you can quote unquote beta test with some kids first, right? You can offer that curriculum. So now you're getting that track record up. So when someone's now asking you like, yes, actually I have an online curriculum that I teach, you get what I'm saying? And then you're starting to put all those other ducks in a row. So you don't have to worry about some of those things. But that would be good too for you even still just to create that curriculum and make sure that, this is something that the kids are responding to the way that you want them to respond as well. So it would be a good way to beta test without having to deal with all of the other complications. And you can get that funded instead. You see what I'm saying? It's an online course. It's a physical book, whatever it is, whatever things that you want to offer. I would even think about like a nice little box. So what comes in the box? We have our financial planner in the box. We have our, you know what I mean? Like all the t-shirts in the box. Right, all the little stuff that's in the box. Okay, so it's an online course, but then they get the box, they got the journal, they got what all a little calculator could be cute, whatever you throwing in that box, but put the t-shirt in it. see how we're rolling that t-shirt in? Put the t-shirt in. You see what I'm saying? And now you're starting to look at it from that perspective. I think that's an easier chat. What do y'all think? Let me see a 1 if you think that's an easier course or 2. And then we have a very good question for Devin before we close out as well. So how you feel about that, Tracy, with the online?
No, that's good. I'm glad I asked the question because I wasn't, what you said makes very good sense. And I wasn't even thinking about all of that, the issues that would cause me if I didn't start, if I didn't back up and do something like online. So I appreciate that. Now, when I asked chat for the grants, do I need to be specific and ask for, and is this the same thing as what Eduardo was saying, professional development? Is that the same as what you're saying?
I would say do you have to be specific about saying like online curriculum, Eduardo, or is this just like an education grant and you can just say, this is my means of education?
What has helped me is I just keep it 1,000 with ChatGPT and I'm like, look, this is where I'm at. This is what I want to do. This is what I have. This is what I do not have. And like the grant search function is dope as an initial brainstorm, but then you want to refine it so that, Grant GPT knows what it's dealing with. Oh, okay, you don't have this, you don't have that. Okay, maybe this might be the angle. So when you rewrite it, Tracy, I would also add like, find some professional development grants as well that might help me get what I need. And hopefully you can get some good answers. I think I was able to help Vanessa with one grant she hadn't got by narrowing it down.
Yeah, and then even a professional development, because that can go into your course creation. You see what I'm saying? Like building the course out, building the curriculum out. If you use a platform like I do, that's Mighty Networks. For everybody who doesn't know, the platform that you guys come through is Mighty Networks. I pay about, I don't know, 180, 160, something like that. I don't know what I pay a month, but I pay, right? And that costs. You see what I'm saying? Now, I built mine out myself. I charge people to build out their Mighty Networks. So You get funded, I can build your platform out for you. That's a cost, right? Then you got the branding. You need course curriculum development. I can help you with that. I can help build your course curriculum. And I'm not saying just me to get the money. I'm just letting you just kind of see how this goes, right? Someone like me could help you to build the course out, the graphics, everything that you need for it. You know what I mean? All the nuances that you would require. Then, of course, you're going to need your CRM. You're going to need your email system set up so that you can communicate with it. You see what I'm saying? So it's all these bricks. And that's pretty, to me, what you could get the funding for as well. So imagine getting that funded and then looking to put the gas onto it with more funding.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you
And if
both.
you want guests to appear, a lot of you guys may or may not know, people pay for those people to come onto their podcast. And people don't, a lot of times they don't just be coming on people podcasts like that. They got to pay them $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to come onto their platforms. Sometimes people pay to go on platforms. Wallow and Gilly, I think at one point it was like 50,000. So even if you were like, there's this financial, platform, this guy that I want to come on, he has a speaker fee. You see what I'm saying? I have to pay him. So those are costs that, Eduardo was talking about that we're not looking at it. So now Devin has a question. First, Tracy, I'm sorry, that was so rude. Tracy, do you feel like you were answered?
Oh, yes. Thank you. That was really good.
And the beauty of it is you won a course. You won a free course.
Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you.
Look at this. You already won. You won a free course. And I'll go and see. You can shop around. I'll see if there's something. If you don't see something that actually goes with what you need, I'll try to find you something. I'll try to find you just for you. But it has the videos, the book. You see what I'm saying? It's got everything you need. You can just customize it. So that was right on time for you. And it also, you have access to the webinars, how to create a digital course, how to sell a digital course, how to market it. All that stuff is on the RIM platform.
Awesome. Thank you.
So that's already the direction. I think that's a better direction online for you. And then try to build it out. Then you can start to have like a little summer 1 week camp, or you know what I mean? And just start building the in-person one out that way.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Okay. So your last thing, so your recommendation now with this new information, just start my search over with the grant chat GPT.
With personal development.
With personal development. Okay, got it. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you both.
Yeah. Okay. And Devin's question is, I hope I can see it because my thing, question around including indirect costs within the proposal. So Devin, are you able to come off of mute?
Hey, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yep, we can hear you. Hey, Devin.
Hey, how you
And
doing?
if you are looking for a financial advisor who is certified with a Series 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, this is your guy.
Hey, peace and greetings.
Hey,
Thank you,
Devin.
AK, for doing this. Thank you. Seriously, I'm learning a lot, making progress, so I appreciate it. Question. This kind of blew my mind when Eduardo's wife mentioned this in the video on day one, the indirect costs. I would love to get a deeper explanation on that. What can be constituted as an indirect cost? Because those are the things that slip through the cracks that eat into your funding if you're not careful. It's like, oh snap, I didn't consider the fact that we was gonna have to make 3 trips, and now I didn't have to spend $70 out of this on gas alone, and then it's the food, and then it's the, all of those things. And so what can be constituted as an indirect cost, especially when you work out of a home office? Because I'm familiar with some tax things as well, but I'm interested, like, okay, so you can use home office, and I heard it say utilities and all these different things. So it's got my brain going. So I would just love a deeper explanation on that.
Yeah, for sure. So for instance, with Tracy, if she's gonna go virtual, Zoom, typically you're gonna want a platform like a Zoom or like a Mentimeter.com is a really great tool to use virtually. So these are things that you might already be paying for, but you actually will need it to facilitate what you're doing. So typically when people are putting their projects together, they don't think, and I'm glad you brought that up, Devin, because this happened to me. It's happened to me where I put matching costs and I'm like, yeah, I'll just pay this out of pocket. Now it's a $48,000 grant instead of a $44,000, not realizing I'm actually going to have to pay this out of pocket. So if it is a matching fund, then you want to make sure you actually have that money from external sources. Otherwise, it's going to have to come out of your pocket. And in your case with the traveling and whatnot, you know, you got to be specific in the project plan, you know, list those travels. There's things that you might not think about right off the top when you're putting the grant together. And then once it gets rolling, you're like, oh yeah. And I mean, I'll keep it real with y'all. One of the grants that I just got, it's to do a artist mentorship program with 10 artists and collaborating with indigenous youth. I put $1,000 for youth engagement. I didn't say what youth engagement was. I just said these $1,000 are going to go towards engaging the indigenous youth and then my squad that I'm mentoring. And what that does, as far as an indirect cost, is it gives you that freedom to do, let me just show up with a bucket of chicken and some chocolate milks or whatever. Like, let me take them out. Let's go to like a spa. As long as we're engaging and we can prove that that's what we're doing with it, that is covered. And so again, with the grant, with the art related grants, you have a lot more leeway to be a bit ambiguous. So I don't have to break down how that $1,000 of engagement is going. But it is a perfect example. I'm taking the squad out tomorrow for pupusas. It's amazing Salvadorian food. And so I wrote that into the grant. I wrote pupusas, literally the name of the food, into the grant. And because it's something I'd be doing regardless, right? So when I submitted it, I'm like, okay, let me look at all the things I already do out of my pocket. And let me just shift that into the grant because I got a grant to do this. Why am I having to pay out of pocket to feed the squad when the grant should be doing that? So there's a lot of indirect costs that you might not think of because you do on a regular basis, especially if you're doing what you love. You really want to make sure you get that into the budget. And now if you're going for more kind of like nonprofit or government related grants, they might actually want you to be specific. That might not fly to just say $1,000 into youth engagement. What does that mean? How are you going to engage? So in that aspect of it, especially when it comes to indirect costs or matching or supplanting what Suleka said in the video, get a call in with the grant officers. I feel like a lot of people don't actually reach out to the grant officers. I know I haven't. Initially, I didn't because I was insecure. And then I didn't because I was arrogant. And then I got clobbered with like 15 denials. So now I'm talking to every grant officer I can get my hands on to just figure out and make sure I have everything proper. And also to clarify these questions with the budget. Because what you don't want, Devin, is, okay, yeah, I'll just squeeze this in as an indirect cost. And then they come and review your report or there's an audit and it turns out that wasn't an indirect cost. And now it's coming out of your pocket or the whole grant might be in jeopardy. So check with the grant officer, but definitely be as creative as you can. You know, at the end of the day, I'm spending the money I say I'm spending and I'm doing it on what I say I'm doing it. But yeah, you know, within the youth engagement component, I had an opportunity for the sister and I to go perform in Mexico. And we were trying to make it work. And I was going to pull some of the grant funding for that. But I wasn't going to pull the entire amount because that's just one individual. And there's still like another 4 or 5 youth in the group. So I hope that answers it, brother.
It does. So one follow-up question, and you mentioned this on day one as well in passing, which was, how do you handle the tax situation, right? So if you're not a nonprofit, then you're for-profit and you just receive this chunk of money. So that creates some taxation, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
What if you, so 2 questions. One, what if you want to go nonprofit, but you need a CPA to help you get you over that hump? But you've been basically doing the activities of what would be a nonprofit, right? So I have something teaching financial literacy to youth, built a track record with it, all of those things. It's just not nonprofit. So could I put into the grant, hey, I need a CPA to help get me to the point of nonprofit, and they'll do the bookkeeping and all of that. So that's one thing. Can that be included? Personnel, right? That's going to help with the knowledges, reading the grant proposal. And then number 2 is, how do you handle the taxes for receiving the grant money? And can you write that into the grant? Y'all about to give me 50. I know 15% of this is going to come off taxes. So let me throw 15 on top of that.
You're asking some excellent questions, King. So I actually haven't yet written in the taxes I'm going to have to pay back into a grant. And better believe the next big grant I go for, I'm going to ask the program officer that question, because it is unfair at the end of the day if you're going to have to pay for all this. So even if, say, you're getting $5,000 coming to you out of that money, you got to declare that in your personal taxes. Now, as far as everything else, so for instance, I got a $44,000 grant, and I'm going to take a hit. I know I'm going to take a hit when I file, because I didn't spend all of that money in 2024. A third of it is getting spent in 2025. So with federal grants in Canada, probably in the States as well, they're very clear. Y'all get this money in 2024 and you don't spend it, you were having to pay it. I can live with that because it's a decision I made, because I just needed to get that money when I needed to get it. But what you got to do is be strategic and treat the grant the way you would treat a tax filing. So everything that's going back out, all the money I'm paying to the other artists, everything, I'm getting invoices, I'm getting receipts, I'm tracking it all. And the same way I'm going to report that to taxes is the way I'm going to report that back to the council. So I'm not in effect getting hit for 44,000 on that grant. I'm getting hit probably for like 30,000, which is still a lot. But the upside to it is the following tax year, I made $14,000 in business expenses without that income. So I should be getting a refund, so, but you got to be meticulous. You got to track everything, keep your receipts. This is a very important topic to me, y'all, because when I was in my early 20s, I landed an $8,000 grant. I landed an $11,000 grant. Then I landed a $20,000 grant. I had a full-time job. I didn't file nothing. I was balling. I was in Cuba partying. And then when I finally got around to doing my taxes, I owed the government $11,000. And they don't play with that money. So that was me for 3 years making monthly payments. And never again did I make that mistake. I track everything. I file everything in taxes. It's real, Sonia. Like, it's one thing to get the grant and we want the money. It's another thing when you're sitting there talking with the IRS, trying to figure out where the hell this $11,000 payment came from. And I was cussing, y'all. I was cussing up a storm until they reminded me about the 2 grants I got. And then I just went quiet because they were absolutely right. I got 2 grants.
I know this is kind of a loophole type of a question, but in terms of the tax evasion, right? Hey, I'm getting 100. You're going to take 15. Let me just drop 115. No, you're not going to get around that, because guess what? Now the new amount is 115 you owe taxes on. So there's still some taxes, because these people are not going to let you play with them. They're doing this for tax write-offs. If you think the government about to set up here and let him be rewarded, and then you see what I'm saying? That is not even something I will play around with. You know what we typically do when we sell? What do? When somebody want to sell, and I'm not saying to use this as a strategy, but this is kind of what we do. We say, okay, I'm going to sell something for $100. I got shipping. I got, you know what I mean? All of these other costs that go into it. So typically the sales strategy is, you can say 85 and you pay 15 for shipping. Most people like 100 free shipping. Mind you, I'm telling you, it sounds crazy, but people run for the no shipping. It's like they just don't want to deal with all of that. So my point is, I don't know how you could do it ethically, legally, or whatever. But if you think about, say you have 10 items that you're paying for, they're going to cost 100 each. So you're like, but I'm pretty much walking away with 85. You see what I'm saying? To pay these people, right? So maybe some people have an inflated cost. You see what I'm saying? I don't know, but I'm just saying, because I understand your point. I'm trying to pay for this. I need exactly 10,000, but I'm going to walk away with 8,500 at the end, right? I'm going to wind up paying for some of this. And so it's either trying to figure out a way around that, or just understanding, at least you got 8,500. You get what I'm saying? And in the back of your mind saying, at least, you know what I mean? Hey, because I don't think we get anything for 100% free period in this world. So maybe that is just even the walk away, that no one is going to fund your entire business. And that's just what, you see what I'm saying? The fact that someone would even fund 85% of your venture right now, Because I swear I would take 85% of anything, you see what I'm saying, that you would give me for mine if I just have to fork over 15. Especially if you gave it to me and I just got to pretty much hand it over to this guy at the end of the year, keep it to the side. I would rather do that. You know what I mean? So it's just like he's saying, these things are regulated. They are paying attention to you. There is a reporting. You don't want to mess yourself up for the future. And I think we just going to have to eat some of it. You get what I'm saying? Some of the costs would just be like, well, that's the taxes. Because they're doing it for their tax break and they're going to report you. You know what I'm saying? They going to report you. Cash App going to report you. PayPal going to, everybody, they going to tell. So, you know, we just got to make sure our ducks are in a row. But thank you, Devin. Those were absolutely cost of doing business. Absolutely excellent. I told y'all he was a financial dude. I told y'all.
I did want to add, because I didn't answer it, but absolutely include your bookkeeping costs as part of the budget. Yeah, in my case, for that grant, I'm bookkeeping my costs. So I'm paying myself. But I know that I'm going to have to pay these taxes and everything. There's no way around it. And then the last thing I'll say, to be very real with everybody, if you got $5,000 from a job, you will get taxed on it. So don't think you're going to get $5,000 from a grant and not get taxed on it. And if anything, set some of that money aside and see if you can do installment payments to the IRS as you're going through your grant through the year. Because believe me, that money will burn a hole in your pocket, and then you're going to get hit with your notifications from IRS.
And I think it also, you know, we can end with this too. It also forces you to think, when we talked about sustainability, when it's like, okay, after I give you this money, how is this thing going to run? Let me tell you something. You give me 50,000. I'm going to be trying to figure out how I'm about to flip this 50,000. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm about to make sure, because you already set me up. You gave me all the inventory, the product and everything. I'm leaving with something. Like, don't think that you gave me this 50 and then I'm like, okay, I paid my staff. I'm monetizing the hell out of your investment. You might not want nothing back, but I swear to God, I'm getting something. You understand? To me, that was because you just said, hey, take this, run your business. You don't need nothing back. No, some coffee? Nothing. Okay. Say less. Watch me thinking, because okay, I got you on the brand sponsorship. Who else in the hell can I get to pay me? Who else? You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be trying to figure out all kind of other ways. That's gonna be 150 at the end of the year. You give me 50, I'm coming back with 100. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming back. So that's the whole point for me. It's like, no. I'm gonna get some more money up off of that. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing. So I ain't even gonna be worried about the taxes at the end of the year. If not, I better turn my ass into a nonprofit or some shit. I better do something. I don't know, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm leaving with something. What the man said, I'm leaving with something.
My conundrum. We got to make sure they get the budgets for us from their grants.
You said that you wanted to do that today or tomorrow.
Well, we want them to look for it and upload it just so that we have it. We don't have to do it today, but just for them.
Oh, you're right. No. So thank you for reminding me. So also, when you guys please log in, you're going to see a thread. That's right. It was a post that I was supposed to make. You're going to see a thread. And what Eduardo wants you guys is to upload the budget requirements, not your financial statements, not your personal business, but the budget requirements. So it's going to be one post. And Eduardo, if you can explain it, I'll post it so that I can share my screen.
Yeah, so not everybody's grant is necessarily going to have that, but I am sure some grants are going to have a budget template that they want you to fill out when you're applying for the funding. So I'll just open up mine that I showed y'all before just to refresh people's memory. So as part of writing the grant, it's one thing to do the wording of it, but you are going to have to do the budget of it. And so I'm just going to open one up here. All right. It's a different one that I showed you before, but it's the same concept, so you guys get it. All right. So I'm just going to share the screen. So when I'm applying for the strategic funds for the Canada Council for the Arts, they have a grant called seed funding. And in order for me to apply, I have to fill out their template. So what you're looking at here is a template of a grant I applied for. And, I was specific, lead coordinator. Here's the money. That's me. 12 months flat fee for coordinating, assistant coordinator, photographer. So I fill all this out on their template. This isn't a budget I create by myself. This is a budget from them that I have to fill out. And if I don't fill it out and I upload it, they won't even consider the grant. So some of the grants, some of you, and some of the grants some of you are looking at will have a budget, not this one specifically, but something like this that the funder is asking you to fill out. So what a conundrum and I are asking is go find that in the grant that you're decided you're going to go apply for, and then upload it so that everyone else can see the different types of budgets. Some of them might not require this. Some of them might just tell you to drop a budget on an Excel sheet and upload it. So if that's the case, then there's nothing for you to do. But if the grant you're looking at does have a budget template that you have to fill out, please upload that. It doesn't have to be pre-filled. It doesn't have to have your personal information. I just want all of us to be able to see all the different types of budgets that might be out there that they're asking us to fill out, because these things are intimidating initially. But by this point, after your 4th or 5th grant, you no longer intimidated. You're just diving in and getting it all done. So I hope that's clear to people. Please ask if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Anybody needed it? Am I on mute?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. So I just posted it here. So let me make sure this is a day 3 activity. Okay, so everyone knows. So it's now posted, and I'm going to show you exactly where it is. You guys probably will just all get a notification right now. So let me share my screen, and it is going to be in the welcome section, just as a regular post. So you guys can see my screen. So when you come here, welcome, you see it says upload budget templates here. So you're just going to upload it. And what we mean by that is while you're here, and you just can tell us the name of the grant, right? So I'll add that in there too. Just tell us the name of the grant, and then you're going to click this little image button right there. So you'll be then saved it as a PDF or something like that. And then you can just attach it just like that. And look, so it'll just come up right there. Okay, so that's pretty much what all we're asking for, the grant name, and just upload the template so everyone can see what these different templates look like. Okay, so you don't have to, don't fill it out. We don't need your financials. Just upload it. Okay, so let me see, share it, and let me make sure that I tell you guys to just share it. So add the name of the grant and upload the image. Okay, and that's it. So it's just that simple. And then we'll all be able to upload the image in your thing. Y'all see why I type in caps, because y'all see I can't type. So I don't be having time for all that shippy. All right. So thank you guys so much. Thank you. And so it's Vanessa. I'll try to work with you too. And don't forget, if you do have questions, go to chat. When you go to the RIM section, you see members, and then there's a chat thread. That's where Tracy and I were talking. That's where the chat thread is, so that everybody can see it, and we'll try to get to your questions. I'll be up all night, odd hours. Ask Tracy, ask Jonas. So type in there, you know what I'm saying, or even text me. I was up answering DMs all last night. So, feel free to text me. I'm here for you. Literally, I'm completely 100% dedicated. These 5 days plus the next, I'm giving you guys 2 more days where I'm just hyper focused on you. After that, I got to head to Tennessee because I got a speaking engagement, okay, on the 1st. So don't be texting thinking I can't respond then. But other than that, I'm 100% hyper focused here on this, okay? So thank you guys, and we will get you ready for, let's see, day 4. And then we'll be getting ready to submit. So we're going to be fine tuning our proposals, okay? So that's it. Ending this one. And thank you for a great night. I think this is taking about an hour and a half for these things to process. It took a while. So hopefully if you missed any portions of this, it should be up around 11. Usually that's what it's been doing. And I'll be reposting it promptly, okay? All right. Bye, you guys. Good night.